Hello everyone. I, Ms. Bhavna Danesh Munod, welcome you all in Agricultural Development Trust, Shardabai Pawar, Mahila Arts, Commerce and Science College, Sharda Nagar, Baramati. Good day everyone. Last period we were studying about role of foreign trade. So in that first 3 points we studied that foreign trade, due to foreign trade what will happen? Foreign exchange will improve, it encourages investment, and the third one was division of labor and specialization. Now come to our next point children in this chapter, that is fourth one, optimum allocation and utilization of resources. The fourth point where regarding role of foreign trade we are studying. That is fourth point. What is there? Optimum allocation and utilization of resources children. Now what is there? See, due to specialization what has happened? Resources are channelized for the production of only those goods which would give highest returns. Now see, what has happened children? That optimum means which resources or which raw material is very good na, that only resources have been counted or used by other countries. So whoever producers are having that particular resources, they do that only production. That only resources are available. And then only those goods are used which will give highest returns. That is optimum allocation and utilization of resources. Now for example, see in our country India, suppose for example I am telling tea is very famous. So we all know Assam is very famous for tea. Tea. And people of India, see they like to drink tea. So what happens then? Assam is only producing or having what? Tea farm. Yes or no? So that is called as, so which resources are very good or which producer knows that his raw material has, his resources will be demanded for production process more, that only goods he will produce. So we all know that Assam produces or manufactures tea. That is called as optimum allocation and utilization of resources children. Now come to our fifth point, stability in price level. Now what here we see that foreign trade helps in stabilizing demand and supply position which maintains price level in the economy. So what we have to study over here, that foreign trade, if we start over here, stabilize means what? Price value will not change. It will be stable. No increase or decrease. No high and low. So here they have told that foreign trade, with the help of foreign trade or due to foreign trade, stabilizing demand and supply position will be there which will maintain price level in the economy. Then the sixth point will be availability of multiple choices. So it provides multiple choices of what? Imported goods. So it is highly competitive and ensure good quality products which improve standard of living. That means due to foreign trade, imported goods will be there more. So what will happen? Say when import goods enter in the market, there will be higher competition and also good quality of products will be assured when we start with foreign trade. So when good quality products are used by the people, standard of living also increases children. So they have told when we start with import and export or we start with foreign trade, there we have multiple choices. Now simple example I will tell you regarding perfumes. What we see in perfumes, the smell also, the fragrance also we see. We also see which brand, which quality is there. And we all know that foreign imported products are more demandable in cosmetics. So the perfume which is branded, which is say from foreign country, it will have more demand because of its quality. Say, so that is called as what? Multiple choices the consumer will get regarding products. There will be quality also in the products. So when good qualities are used by the consumer, the standard of living also increases. That is called as availability of multiple choices. Why had happened? Because of foreign trade. Then the seventh point is what? Related to say brings reputation and help to earn goodwill children. Now when we start exporting or say exporting country can earn reputation and goodwill in international market. So they have given example Germany and Switzerland. See, yeah, exporting. These countries are related to what, children? Exporting countries. Who? Germany and Switzerland. They are recognized because of their business, that is export business. So this exporting country can earn reputation and goodwill in international market. Means not only recognized over in local market, say not only in India we recognize, but whole over the world. Internationally, these countries are famous because of their trade, foreign trade. So export country can earn reputation, they have told, can have goodwill. See, for any company to have goodwill in the market is very good. Any company, for their name, for their brand, for their quality, they are recognized. So this exporting country earns reputation and goodwill in international market, and they have given us example regarding Germany and Switzerland are recognized by their goodwill in international market. Children, international market. Now come to our next point on next slide. Children, as we were studying, that is role of foreign trade in India, and we studied what is the importance and significance that because of foreign trade what happens, the country's reputation also increases, goodwills also increases, and economically the country also develops, that is financially it becomes strong. Now come to our next part in this chapter, that is composition on direction of India's foreign trade, that is over 70 years, how we have done, what is India's role in foreign trade, that is import and export. So composition and direction, say, or guidelines of India's foreign trade, children. Now we'll see, that is first point, that is increasing share of gross national income, children. Now see, gross national income, that is share of India due to foreign trade in the year 1990-91, children. It was 17.55%. Then increased by 25% in the year 2006 and 7, and in the year 2016-17 it was 48.8%. That means increase in gross national income. In the year 2016-17 it was 48.8%. Then the second benefit was increase in volume and value of trade. Now since 1991 they have told that India has increased several times more in volume and value of import export, means it has been increased volume and value both. Our reputation has increased, our production volume means what, more production has been gone to foreign countries, that is more import and export we have done since 1991. Volume and value also increased for our product in India. Then the third point we'll study over here, that is change in the composition of export. Now what is there, that since independence India used to export primary products. So see, since independence what we used to export, primary products like jute, cotton, tea, oil seeds, leather food, grains, cashew nuts, mineral products. So these products we are exporting to foreign countries. And with passage of time, means after certain time, what we exported, we started exporting ready-made garments, manufactured items, gems and jewelry, also electronic goods, computer hardware and software. These all things we started exporting in India. Means India exported to other countries, which spices, pickles were also there, tea oil was there, jute was there, cotton was there. But as days passed by, we also started exporting ready-made garments, manufactured items, gems and jewelry, electronic goods, computer hardware and software also were exported, children, by India. Now what the change was there in imports? See, what we did first, we studied related export we increased. Now what we'll see, import, how India changed its import, what was the difference, composition of import. Now see, first India used to import consumer goods like medicines, cloth, motor vehicle, electronic goods. Apart from petroleum, now India is importing mainly capital goods like fertilizers and high technical machineries, chemicals. Means importing means what? They are taking from other countries. So India was taking was what? Medicines were there, cloth was there, motor vehicle, oil and petroleum. So we still now we what we do? We import. But now India, rather than these things, also started importing what? Capital goods like fertilizers, high technical machinery, and chemicals, children. So this also India started importing nowadays. Now the fifth point we will see, children, that is oceanic trade. Now what is this oceanic trade? That India's oceanic trade, they have told, is around 68%. That means by sea. By sea, how we do trade? By sea. So that is 68%. And with their neighboring countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Myanmar, what we are doing? Sea traveling, sea trade. Means by sea the goods and services are transported to these countries. Which countries? Nepal, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Myanmar. We all know the services, airways, the transport, what we are the airways, waterways. Yes or no? Railways and roadways. These are four means of transport. We have studied this. So, by waterways, India has what? 68% trade by water. So, to our neighboring countries, they have told like Nepal, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and Myanmar. So, this is oceanic trade. What we are studying? Composition of trade of import and export in India. Now, the sixth point is what? Development of new ports. Now, see why we started development of new ports. Like 68% we have done that import and export business through sea by with our neighboring countries. So development of new ports means what? For its foreign trade, India depended mostly on Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata ports, children. So see, foreign trade by seaways, we have first dependent only on this four or say three cities, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata ports. So these ports were burdened and then new ports were developed at Vishakhapatnam, Cochin, Kandla and Nhava. Why these ports were developed? Because there was increase in import and export business. That means foreign trade was increased. That's why these three cities, that is Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata, were only ports for there. They were getting burdened with all the goods and services. So government had new ports, that is in Vishakhapatnam, Cochin, Kandla and Nhava, children. So development of new ports were there by government. So this was related to what? Composition and direction of India's foreign trade over 70 years. That means from 70 years, how we have improved in import also and in export also. So see, just a little bit diagram if you can see. Composition we were studying regarding import and export. So in this composition, that composition is related to export and import. So export, what is India has done? Fuels, capital goods, chemicals, food grains, petroleum products, capital goods, pearls, precious gems, iron, steel, fertilizers, edible oils. These things we are exporting. And in import, what we are doing? Manufactured goods, textiles, gems, jewelry, handicraft and light machinery, etc. So this is a short in what has been changed. Composition related to import and export over 70 years. So what has been changed? So export, import, what things we have more added? That is a little bit explanation over here given in the diagram. Now see over here, if you can see one more slide I have told regarding export items composition. So what is there in export items composition? See, from India we are studying about our country India. So what is their composition? What is ours, India's country's composition? That is agricultural products, textiles and allied products, chemicals, metals and minerals, fish, dairy, animal products, capital goods, other products and service export. So this is what export items composition. Now this diagram is various countries related to, say, Organization for Cooperation and Development, OECD is there. Organization of Petroleum Development Countries, OPEC are there. Eastern Europe is there. Developing nucleus are there. Nations, developing nations. A certain type of chart has been told over here. Say a diagram related to developing nations. Now, which are developing nations? See over here, children. China is there, Hong Kong is there, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia. These are all developing nations, they have told. Then Eastern Europe, Romania and Russia are there. Then regarding, say, what we are studying, that is OECD, that is export. So USA, Canada, European, Australia, Japan, these are all connected with India. And the petroleum products we are purchasing from Kuwait, Iran, Iraq and Saudi Arabia. So this we are studying related to what, children? Regarding composition of import and export. So a little bit diagram, like a little bit knowledge for you, that developing nations are there. Then from where we are this thing taking petroleum products, that is Kuwait is there, Iran is there, Iraq is there, Saudi Arabia is there. Then developing nations are also there, children. So this we are studying about what? Composition of import and export. Now we'll come to our next point in the chapter, that is trends in India's foreign trade since 2001. See our trends in India's foreign trade since 2001. Trends means what? What changes have been there? What the things have been changed from 2001 in India? So what are the recent changes? We'll come to know. We'll see the first one, that is engineering goods. The first one. What is it? Engineering goods. So according to Export Promotion Council, that is EGEPC report, the share of engineering goods, see children, was 25%. So India's total export in 2017-18, that is within this category, some of the prominent exported items are transport equipment, including automobiles, auto components, machinery and instruments. So during this period, that is 2010 to 11 till 2014-15, children, exports of transport equipment have grown $16 billion to $24.8 billion. Engineering goods export has been increased. So how much it is increased? They have told till 2014-15. Transport equipment has been grown up to $16 billion to $24.8 billion. So this report is given by who? Export Promotion Council, EGEPC report. Then the second one is petroleum products. Now India's petroleum capacity, children, increased significantly from the year 2001 to 2. We all know petroleum products we have to purchase, due to which India turned as a net exporter of petroleum refinery products. So petroleum product has a share of 4.3% in India's total exports in 2001, which rose steadily to 20.1% in 2013-14. So see, that is, we are exporting petroleum products, that share has been increased, petroleum refinery products export. So how much it increased? Till 20.1% in the year 2013-14. It has been significantly increasing. Then the third one is chemicals and chemical products, children. So that thing has been performed very nicely, and its share, they have told, is 10.4% in the year 2014-15. So yeah, the third one, that is chemical products. What we are studying? Recent trades in exports. Where? In India. So what changes have been there? So they have told that India has performed very well in chemicals and chemical products exporting, and their share is what? 10.4% from the year 2014-15. Now come to the fourth one, that is gems and jewelry. Now gems and jewelry is one of the major contributors to export earnings in India, children. So that is what? It is a major contribution in export in India, and they have their share of 13.3%. in India's merchandise export in the year 2014-15. So which 4 points we are studying? Engineering goods, that has been increased, that is from $16 billion to $24.8 billion. Then petroleum products also increased, that was increased from 4.3% to 20.1%. Then chemical was performed very nicely. Chemical products were performed very nicely. Their share contribution was 10.4% in India. Then came next is gems and jewelry. So that is also one of the major contributors they have told to export earnings in India. So this has a share of how much? 13.3% in India's merchandise export. And the fifth one, if you can see children, that is what? Textiles and ready-made garments. Now this textiles and garment exports together accounted for 11.3% of India's exports in the year 2014-15. So in fact, India is one of the leading export countries of textiles and ready-made garments in the world, children. So here we are studying about exports. So we studied about gems and jewelry, chemicals we studied, petroleum products we studied. So this was related to what? Exports in India. So what is the change in that? So the fifth point is what? Related to textiles and ready-made garments. What they have told, that textiles and garment exports together has counted for 11.3% of India's export in the year 2014-15. So in fact, India is one of the leading export countries of textiles and ready-made garments in the world. See, leading exporting countries related to what? Textiles and ready-made garments in the world. So this we studied related to what? Trends in exports. Now the next period, children, we will study about trends in exports. So thank you.